Hello and welcome to,
Hey, we like your pod.
and we're going to tell you why. Hi, it's Dawn here, and I am joined as always by my trusted partner, Matt Pickett. How you doing, Matt?
Pretty good. We're in that week where a lot of people, I know not everybody, but myself included, has the week off between, Christmas and New Year's. So just hanging at home, living up the living it up, that is, the Christmas sort of hangover, hanging with the kids, playing with new toys,
Aw,
being lazy, sleeping in. So, if you're one of the people listening who's like, yeah, I have to go to work and I've been going to work, like, sorry, don't mean to rub it in your face, but just
sorry.
saying that for me, I'm having a lovely week and just loving it, having a great time. So yeah, in fact, today, spent a bunch of time building a Lego thing that my wife got me. So
Oh, for
this
you?
this majestic type, yeah, she got these sets for the kids and she was telling me about them. I was like, those look so cool. So she was like, I'll get you
All
one for you too.
right.
So yeah, this like amazing, like intricate tiger, like I don't know how many pieces it was over 1,000 pieces. It was like all this like little tiny detail work, and it was a ton of fun. So yeah, just having a great time. How about you, Don? How you doing?
So back up a minute. First of all, I loved Legos as a kid. I thought I was going to become an architect because of Legos. My mother told me I shouldn't try to do that because she said I would have to understand like engineering and things like that. But I was more just interested in the design starting. Yeah. I'm not like science minded. I mean, I can get by, but that's not what I enjoy doing. Anywho, loved my Legos. Did you say a tiger?
Yeah,
It's a Lego tiger. Okay, and then so is it so it's not free form, you actually follow instructions like of
yeah,
how to put it together? Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
It's a cool set because like it has the
Like a
pieces to build
puzzle.
this. Yeah, it is like it is a lot like doing a puzzle actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it has the full instructions to do this tiger, but it also has instructions on how to build a red panda and shoot
Oh,
something else, a fish or something, I forget. But part of the selling for this was like the red panda was extra cool as well. So it was a lot of fun.
love it. So then
Yeah.
you can take it apart, do the panda, take it
Hmm.
apart, do the tiger, or just take it apart and use it in like I would and just do whatever.
Hmm.
Freestyle.
Freestyle. That's right. You're more like one of the what are they called? Like the Lego they call them Lego Masters, I think, actually, in the Lego movie. You're like those guys. You're like Wild Side.
Probably. I didn't see the movie. I live but we have a Lego land right over here,
Hmm.
very close by. So are you going to share a photo of your completed project?
Oh, I meant to bring it up here. It's not on the first floor right now, and like put it on camera, but I
Oh,
forgot
that
to
would
today.
be
So
fun.
maybe next
Well,
time.
maybe
Maybe,
on Twitter, maybe just take a shot and put it
or
on
maybe I
Twitter.
will. That's not a bad
That'd be
idea.
fun. I'd
Here's what
love
I did
that.
today. Click, post. Sure. Yeah, maybe I will.
So yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, just feeling a little under the weather too, put it lightly. So thank you for. I guess it worked out really well. You had a lot of company last week, anyways, on the day that we were going to record. So here we are, the final Thursday night football of the season,
Yeah.
which is also notoriously one of the worst games of the season. And tonight does not disappoint in that regard. It's kind of a high scoring game in that sense. It's kind of fun, but only on one side, I guess. I can't watch it because I don't want to see certain people's faces. Um, just because they're really sad, especially because they're so sad, right? I mean, half of our Packers team from last year is either benched or over there. So maybe you can tell me, do so who's their quarterback tonight? Simeon? Did they start? What's his name?
I don't know. I was paying more attention to the Browns actually, because
Right.
the Joe Flacco like
I
weird
know.
late career Cinderella story thing is like
I
really fun.
loved it
Angle.
so
I've only half watched the game so far. I will say I know this
yeah,
started off really exciting and then kind of went down from there.
yeah. I
So
was
you know,
listening. Yeah.
classic Thursday night weird game for sure. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll watch probably the end of it after we're done here. Because it's like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's football. There's not a lot of football left on.
Well, right, we can't complain. I know, because we can't. It's like, don't diss this game. It's the last Thursday night, but it's almost over pretty soon.
That's
Well,
right.
I can tell you, speaking of Legoland, they just did their fireworks. They've been doing them. They do them during the holidays every night. So Tosh was out here playing. I was playing with Tosh before, and thought she was going to make an intro appearance, but the Legoland fireworks are going, which is why I was looking around. You saw me looking around. I'm like, what is that? You would think I would know. It's every night. um, but there was a second thing I had to that. I forgot already what the second point was, but the Cinderella story. I'm really enjoying, even though I'm listening, not watching. I'm loving that for Joe Flacco, and they keep talking about how he's 39 years old, and that's got to be rubbing somebody the wrong way.
I
So
kind
much.
of hope so. Kind of hope
But
so.
is that terrible? Is that terrible? But yeah, so so that's kind of cool. Yeah, he looks very happy. I love a good
Yeah.
smiling 39-year-old quarterback.
There you
It's
go.
always nice.
I don't know if you're like obliquely referring to something else, Don. I don't know, but I think it is fun that Legoland does fireworks because they look realistic, but they're just Lego, so that's cool. And sorry, tagging that in there. Yeah, no, it's. I saw a tweet today, right? If the Packers picked up Alan Lazard next year, like, would you want them to if they had the chance to? And like, I'm like, no, he was one of Rodgers' guys. Ultimately, he's showing he's not great out there with a different quarterback. Like, we have our own receivers who are amazing
Yeah, we
and
don't
getting
need to go
better.
backward. We
No,
do
we don't.
not need to go backward.
So, like,
I'm
there's always a spot in my
yeah,
heart for him. Obviously, for Randall
sure,
Cobb, big time
sure.
love for Randall
Yeah,
Cobb. But like,
they made their choices.
well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people made their choices. A lot of people did. So,
Yeah, very okay. I'm not going to gloat, but I don't mind seeing tonight's game. You know, put a pin in it, or no, put a done stamp on it.
sure.
Rubber stamp done
For at least this season.
for the season.
Because people think they'll be back. But anyhow, speaking of people making choices, hey Don, what do you think about this whole Jair thing, huh?
Jair is so funny. It was a choice.
Mhm.
I dare I say, is it possible that it was a way to get him to maybe out the door anyway? I don't know. Do you think there's a conspiracy theory going on? Hi, Rochelle.
I mean, conspiracy theory, I'm not sure how you mean that. I think for me it's just he's a loose cannon and they've let him get away with a lot
Yeah,
and have given him
it's so
too long of
fun.
a leash. I hate to say the word leash because it sounds like I'm saying he's a
I
dog or
know.
something, but it's a
Yeah,
phrase we use for everyone.
yeah.
I took one of my kids having a leash too, just to provide some context, I guess. But point being, I this is how I look at it, Don, is that I've been the Jair, I've been the Matt LaFleur, and I've been the Aaron Jones in this case. Like I've seen it from different angles in my life. Like in
Wow.
college, there was a situation where I chose to like be the smarty pants and try to get away with stuff that I shouldn't have tried to get away with because it wasn't a situation where there was much like leadership and like discipline enforced, and I went off and ended up getting in trouble for it. For good reason, because I definitely like stepped over some boundaries of good taste and professionalism. Let's just say I could tell the
Mhm.
whole story another time, but so I know what
Yeah.
it's like to be that person where you're like, I have the latitude to do this, and I'm going to go be a little snot because I can.
Mhm.
Because Jair knew what he's doing. He knew he's breaking a rule. He knows that you're not supposed to do that. He just went and did what he wanted to do, which
I
that's
can't
not
believe it.
just like oh crazy Jair and like okay look,
Right. Yeah.
this is gonna sound real cranky old man here, but like people who are like, oh, he's suspended for like kind of a funny thing. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny to go to be so disrespectful to the coaches, to the systems that are established by the coaches, by the league, to
Mhm.
your team, and in a moment that could endanger your team's chances of winning the game. Like it's not funny. It's not
Right.
funny. And Jair has been funny a lot lately. I mean, his whole career, he's funny. He's very entertaining. He's been one of my favorite players for a long time. I think a lot of people would say the same thing, but this is not funny. And like I said, I did a similar thing in college, and I thought I was being funny and smart and cool, and I was being an idiot. I think we can all say Jair is being an idiot at the very least, and really pompous in this case. But because I've also been, as a band teacher, there are kids who maybe I would like start to give too long of a leash to, and then that would backfire because they do something that's completely like unprofessional, like get themselves in trouble, would reflect poorly on me and the rest of the band. So I've
Mhm.
been the Matt LaFleur, and I at work, um, a couple of years back, one of my colleagues who isn't there anymore, was the Jair. She would get it with all kinds of stuff until eventually it was like too much that
Oh,
she got in trouble, our boss got in trouble, and we were all kind of like on the side there being like, yeah, like, kind of egging her on and kind of like seeing what would happen and, watching for this, for this train wreck to finally, hit the ground and explode. And eventually it did. And so
right.
like, if there's a system and there's an expectation and it's not being enforced and it's not like, people are being held accountable for stepping outside of that, like it's gonna fester, it's gonna cause problems. I think Mike Wall said, you either have an authority problem or you're going to have one, or something to that effect, maybe more um, eloquent than how I just said it, but basically like it's
Sure.
indicative of a huge problem. So I've been thinking about this a lot because I was, relating it to my own like life situations and kind of seeing it that
Mhm.
way.
Mhm.
But I'm upset about it. I think that the 1 game suspension is absolutely warranted. I think that I hope that is like a thing that will show people, and the team that like we're serious about this. Stop screwing around, kids. Um,
Mhm.
but the whole entire other and you can stop me anytime here, Don, because I know I'm just going on
No,
and
go
on here.
on. It's fine. I'm
The other
waiting.
thing about it, the whole entire other flip side that people have been talking about is like, well, how are we going to hold Jair accountable for this when we're not holding, Joe Barry accountable for the crap he's putting out there, the terrible, product he's putting on the field, and then the ways that we're like
Mm.
losing games or almost losing games, because of the poor work from the defense. And I think that's a completely valid, counterpoint and thing to bring up in this case. And absolutely Joe Barry should have been fired, a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year ago,
A
like
year, 2
a year
years.
probably, for being for real about
Shouldn't
it,
have been
except for
hired.
he just had a really good, end of last season. But yeah, no,
Okay, okay,
go
okay,
ahead, go ahead.
but okay. Yes, on Joe Barry, yes, on what I however, it's kind of apples to oranges because Jair disrespected a rule, basically a boundary. Joe Barry's just bad at his job, evidently,
Mhm.
theoretically, in this. Okay, so it's apples to oranges now. So why does he still have his job is legitimate, but and why, you know, I don't think there's any room to have both of those conversations in the same realm
Yeah,
because they're just totally except for it's the same leaders making those decisions, Mark
yes,
Murphy, Gutekunst, and LaFleur. So what I did think was interesting is LaFleur said, "Well, we thought hard about it, we talked about it." I think the only reason they even had to think hard or talk about it is because of the upcoming game and the impact it would have on the potential, you know, record for our season and us maybe not even succeeding at going into the playoffs by not having him in. I mean, he's important to our team because he is pretty good at his job. So, um, but they had to do it. I don't think there was any question. I did think it was kind of funny just because I'm so used to just being like, oh, Jair, ha ha, like as you said.
hmm hmm
But I couldn't, when I heard what he did, I was like, what? I mean, how did that even happen?
yeah,
How did he
yes,
even get that far? That's what I want to know. Like, how? I mean, the captains who were supposed to be doing that, did they just say, okay, go ahead and do it? We're
I
supposed
think
to.
so. I think they just let it happen. So like, this is Jerry being weird. Okay, we'll just he's doing
Right.
it.
They were caught off guard. Maybe it wasn't planned.
I mean, I think a lot of times in life, I have found that if you do something confidently, people won't question it.
I
He does everything confidently,
do everything.
you know.
That's how I live my life. It's
Darn.
like,
Yeah, the stuff I've gotten
nobody will
away with in my
notice.
life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
just
gonna
by
notice
being
if you look
confident.
nervous. Right, right.
Absolutely. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's what is it like? Oh yeah, I guess Jay's supposed to be out here. He's looks like he's supposed to be. So that'd be my guess. That'd be my guess.
Okay, okay. I don't think it was very, and so then here's the other thing. You've got this personality, this humorous personality, but he's made a couple of off the cuff comments lately that I think reporters have been wondering if there's more to this.
Mhm.
Number one, but I think in this case, was that they were asking, was there a conversation? Did he want to, because he's from North Carolina? Did he express that he wanted to be a captain and he was told no? I don't think they ever really answered that
Yeah,
question.
unclear.
So, sometimes these outgoing fun personalities can be getting by with certain things, as you've mentioned, by having that style. But then there's a little edge that we didn't know that exists, because he also nonchalantly said, oh, Matt LaFleur and I never speak, in one of his off the cuff comments like a week
Mhm.
before. And people were like, what do you mean you don't ever speak with a head coach? Is there a problem? And then this happened. So people are wondering, does he have an axe to grind? Is he unhappy about something? Who knows? Or is he just being Jair? Is he just being silly? But I don't like that it could impact the upcoming game, Sunday Night Football. Here we come. But I don't feel like if we lose him for a game and we can't win, which we totally should be winning Sunday night's game, if we can't win with the next man up, then I'm not. It is what it is. We're not ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for the
And
playoffs. Yeah,
you know, along those lines, I feel like Jair has been, well, not full strength Jair, since his
right,
shoulder injury. I don't want to say he's been bad, but like compared to
right.
like what he can be, what he is
Mhm.
at his full strength, he's been bad. And the other corners I feel like have been playing better. I put out a tweet today,
Exactly.
asking like, hey, people who have stats. I asked specific people. I asked the guys from Father Son Packers podcast, and I asked Ryan Schlip from Packernet. I asked Paul Noonan from Reporting is Eligible and Acme Packing Company. I asked Andy Herman, just kind of get their takes on like stats and information they could give to tell us like, are the other cornerbacks kind of like better than Jair this year? And I'd say like the eye test is that Jair's been terrible since he got back, and I think that's fair
Mhm.
to say.
Mhm.
Andy Herman has graded him very low since he got back, and I don't mean to say like he that and it's just Andy's perception. I think Andy's a good grader, so like I think Andy's grades do bear out the fact that he has been bad since he's come back from his injury, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And further, the other corners were doing great, I thought, until like, Stokes and Jair came back, and then like the secondary was a lot worse, it seemed like. And yeah, maybe that's the difference in the strength of the opponents, but like, I don't know. I thought we were doing really good with Valentine and Ballantyne out there, for weeks. The big games we won were with them. So like, do we even sounds like it's such a terrible thing to say, but like, do we even need Jair to win this game?
Well,
Kind of
that's the
think we
thing.
don't.
Right. And I think that's why this punishment, as it were, is even more than just, was it a consideration? It's going to tell him something like, oh, they won without me. Right. Maybe I'm not that hot of, ish. I'm trying to think, what is the fake word?
You just say not
Not
that
hot
hot.
stuff. I'm not such hot stuff after all. And
There you
maybe
go.
that's getting to him too. Maybe he knows he's not playing as well, and there might be a lot of things underneath the surface. And he's decidedly, I guess, if you listen to the people we listen to, overpaid. So,
Mhm.
and that's got to stop as an organization. Do I think it was tactical in terms of getting him, saving the money and, showing him the door and that kind of thing. I
Mhm.
doubt it. I
I
mean,
doubt
I
it.
think it was just, let's put it this way. When the answer is a right answer, there are wins all over the place. The chips will fall where they
Mhm.
may, but it's going to be a win 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 no matter what. You can't have the wrong answers come from I'm sorry, the right answers coming from making the wrong decision, and this was the right decision, and it was
Mhm.
the only choice they had. You can't go out on national television and embarrass an organization like that and
Mhm.
show that, oh yeah, they're not really in charge. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I know it's kind of a weird conversation we're having at this point in the season. Who would have thought? Like, has anyone ever done anything like that? Hello to everyone in the chat.
Yeah, hey
Rochelle,
guys.
Lorenzo, first one here. Lorenzo, nice to see you. And Iowa Joe, howdy y'all. And Exotic Prairie. Are they going to let LaFleur hire a Barry replacement? He hasn't done a good job at that. Oh, I see what you're asking. Are they gonna make the decision?
I mean, it's
That's
LaFleur's job to hire the DC,
right.
all the coaches and everything else like that. So like, yeah, but will they really?
Right.
Will will
You
Mark
might
Murphy actually have a hand in it? It's a good question, Exotic Prairie. We'll never really know for sure. I know that certainly to the media, to the outside, will be told that it is Matt LaFleur making the hire, but that's a good
sure.
question. That's a good question.
But is it ever
Yeah.
is it ever really fully the coach's decision? But in this
Mhm.
case, less so, right? And
Right.
hi, Mark, and
Oh, hey, Aaron.
hello,
Welcome in.
Aaron. Nice to see you guys. Oh, can you
So for the
believe
people
it?
just joining us, we were just ranting about the whole Jair situation. A lot of a lot of ranting going on there. It's true. It's true. So yeah, that was kind of the big thing for this week. It's funny. There's been so many little things that have kind of happened in the last like 2 weeks. Since we didn't record last week, there's a lot of things we didn't get a chance to talk about. And one I'd totally forgotten about was the whole like interview with Simone Biles and her husband. Um, shoot, Mr. Simone Biles. Um,
Owens.
Thank you. I can't think. Yeah, Jonathan Owens, right?
I thought you
So
were kidding.
no, seriously, for a second, I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, no, the interview with them. I had totally forgotten about it. My wife brought it up at dinner tonight, and she seemed like upset about the situation. I was like, "Oh my god, you are a week behind in the discourse on this. Like, it is, it is fine."
Wait,
They
wait.
seem
I
happy.
didn't I didn't even hear.
Oh my
I
god.
didn't know there
Okay.
was an well, I was sick. I
Yeah,
was
that's true. That's true.
down. Like
Okay,
I
so
was
I'll
okay,
give you
fill me in.
the fast 30-second recap on this. Done was basically that there was this like I don't know like 45-50 minute like podcast episode of this podcast that I'm not familiar with, the video podcast, where Jonathan Owens Jonathan Owens and Simone Biles were on talking about their relationship and how much in love they are and stuff like that, and kind of like some cute stories. And I guess when they first matched on Tinder or whatever, I don't know what profile thing, dating system, website they used. um, he didn't know who she was, and like everyone knows who Simone
He
Biles
didn't
is. Yeah, he
he
says, he says, which I feel like
Oh my
he's
god.
saying just to like kind of like make fun of himself,
Oh.
like what a bonehead I was, because like this is a
Oh.
man who very much loves her now and is a big
Mm.
supporter. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
you can tell from watching the whole thing, but people take this out of context. For like, this is Jonathan Owens trying to like put Simone Biles in her place and trying to like diminish her light. It's
Oh.
like, give me a break. No, it's not. So a lot of people like had a lot of angry things to say about it. They were very much underinformed and didn't watch the whole thing. It was just the dumbest thing. Just the dumbest thing.
Well, what
So
did
if you
your
missed
wife
that
have
one,
oh,
good.
what good, good. What did Kara have to say about it?
Oh, she was underinformed. And I tried to tell her about it, and she said I was wrong. So we don't see eye to eye in that one. So it goes. Yeah.
Oh. 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 Well, okay. I mean, when you first said that he did that, it was like, oh, hmm, is he wanting to be the more important one? Is that his way of saying that? But I can't
That's what some
imagine
people
he
took
would
from
do
it.
that. I can't imagine he would do that.
Now, the other thing I think that kind of goes with that too is that he had said, and I think also jokingly, I mean, the first thing I think he was serious that he didn't know who he was, but I think he was saying it to like, it was like self-effacing. And the other thing he said that I think was just kind of like joking was he said that he thinks he's the catch in the relationship, where clearly Simone Biles, world-class athlete, greatest of all time. I mean, she's amazing. So like I take it as being like, he's being kind of like silly and he's kind of joking. And like, of course he is going to think highly of himself, and he should, like don't feel like you have to be negative about yourself for no good reason, right? I mean, he's a talented athlete, he's a beautiful man, that kind of stuff. But like he wasn't trying to say anything bad about Simone, but he wasn't trying to like diminish her light or whatever. Like yeah, it was so stupid. It's also stupid.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. Even if he had that inclination, I don't think he would be silly enough to say that out in the public, like publicly. That would be really bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, not that I think he has the inclination, but let's just say, let's say he had the inclination. Why would he? What if he had that inclination? He would just be starting some kind of a war within his marriage by saying that publicly, wouldn't he? That doesn't make sense.
You would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of really dumb tweets about it out there. A lot of really dumb discourse, dumb videos.
Oh, I'm glad I missed it.
But I love that in the end, days after this whole thing started, Simone Biles came out and tweeted like, "Are y'all still talking about this? Like, are you serious?" Right. Basically. So her just kind of saying, "Look, like this is none of y'all's business. Right. We're happy, and you can shut up about it," which I really appreciated.
Right.
So yeah, like just all the dumb little things that have happened in the last 2 weeks. The Jair one just eclipsed all the rest of them, basically.
Oh, for sure. The Jair thing was just mind blowing, and I thought, because I was was taking a lot of medication, and I was really dizzy, and I was really sleeping a lot, and I was like, what is happening? Like, how? What? No way. It took me until today to be like, okay, I'm going to really try, because it kept coming up on different broadcasts and things. So yeah. So, and Exotic Prairie is trying to forget about her Chiefs. She is a Chiefs fan.
Rough season for the Chiefs.
It's not
doing great.
You never know. It's not over yet, but.
So I do want to highlight this comment from Erin, and I think she puts this well. I think it expresses something I'm trying to put my finger on here. So I appreciate this, Erin. Erin says, "My boyfriend and I roast each other all the time. Matt can vouch. I can. It's our love language, so I get not being super sappy. Not for everyone. And it's true, because like Kara and I don't do that very much back and forth like that. That's just not part of like our relationship very much. Like a little bit, but not very much. More like she roasts me and I just kind of put up with it. So it's more one way, and that's fine. That's something we're both like happy with. It's just part of just the our dynamic, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the thing with thinking it through that lens, Erin, I think is really smart for this to be like, yeah, this is just how they interact. I mean, like, it's funny because when he said the thing about like I'm the catch, she kind of like rolls her eyes and kind of laughs. So it's like, yeah, like they're being playful.
Okay, yeah. So you would have to, so if you're just hearing it and you didn't see the visual, you might have missed a lot of context.
Yeah, or if you see like the quote out of context, or especially because nobody out there who was like writing the angry stuff about it watched the whole 45-50-minute thing, which they should. It's really fun. It's a fun watch, so we should check that out. But
okay,
yeah,
okay. Mark, I'm sorry about the Pistons. I haven't even had any time for basketball this year. What's wrong with me? Yeah, mountains of molehills. I love that.
That's right, Joe. Mountains out of molehills. You got that right.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, superlative wise, I don't know. Did you? I'm not sure I could even articulate it properly, but did you pick up on any of the conspiracy theories about the Jair? This is going to help the Packers. I don't know. Get out of a I don't know what the.
No, I didn't. Like, you talking about like in terms of like pay and stuff like that, or
yeah.
No, I didn't hear any of that.
That was the first thing I heard, and then that's when I was like, "What? Wait, okay, yeah." So I like a good conspiracy theory, I mean, it's kind of fun. So I just wondered if you knew anything else about it. And I had my own little conspiracy theory that I didn't get to share last week because we weren't on. And that was the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, whose name
Ejiro Evero.
Yes. What a wonderful guy.
I like him.
But Okay, so I was in my fog of not feeling well, and I kind of came up for air, and I again very, very not feeling well, so I didn't know what I was doing or reading, again, out of context. So I thought that Matt hired him. I thought Matt hired him right before the Panthers game, and I was like, "What a move! Oh my."
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I know, I was so excited. I had myself all worked up, and
Oh,
then
that'd
I
be a
was like,
scandal.
"Oh, people are just talking about him being a candidate." Okay. Yeah, so that would have been pretty great. But we managed to win. We managed to win against the Panthers. Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
can I interject for a second? I
Sure.
just love how Dusty put it. He said it was a perfect result because we won and Joe Barry looked really bad again. So like
True.
everything went the
Right.
way it should.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, now I remember seeing Dusty saying that. That's true. Very true.
I mean,
It's Jordan Love carrying the football team on his back already. His first year.
with
So
his top 3 receivers out. My
yeah.
God. What a performance. 33 points.
Mhm.
This guy's
Yeah.
amazing. This guy's amazing.
I love our quarterback. I love our quarterback almost as much as our mascot. So that was one of my superlatives I would share from last week. Best conspiracy theory, a la
Mm.
me in my I don't know, not feeling well haze. I just made it up in my head. I thought I was reading it, but I wasn't. But he doesn't have a great record of winning record either. He's coming from the Panthers, and not so sure he's the right guy.
Well, okay. I would say when he was working with the I want to say, and probably somebody will correct me if I'm wrong about this, the safeties when he was with the Rams, he was their coach, I believe. The work they were doing was amazing. The stuff with the Panthers, we were like handling them really well, in the first half of the game. I think was it 30-14 at halftime or
Yeah,
something. Clearly, Evero, went in there and made some adjustments that made a
mhm.
huge difference at halftime. You have a coordinator who can make adjustments like that and slow down the other team's offense as much as he did to us in the second half. That's pretty impressive.
Okay, okay,
So
okay. That's a good point. That's a good point. If that's what he did, or did we just I don't know. Is that what happened? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
Need to see more film breakdown from people smarter than us, or at least
Yes.
smarter than me.
Right.
um,
This was my thought. I was like, oh, somebody, yeah, exactly. Defensive coordinators that can make adjustments. How novel.
I know, right?
And Exotic Prairie is showing love to Stafford from the Rams and his 4 daughters. I'm not
Mhm.
sure. Are they on the I'm not sure why, but that's cool. That's cool. And the Rams are starting to step up.
Mhm.
Of
They're
course,
looking
I
good right
get
now. Yeah,
yeah.
it's weird.
It is weird.
I hate
It's
it.
so weird. I just hope they beat the 49ers. I don't care. But I know we need them. I don't know what we need them to do, but
We need the Rams to lose a lot, is what we need, basically.
yeah. Okay, so we don't want them to beat the 49ers. But we do. I do. I can't help it.
I get that.
No, I wouldn't mind. I mean, the 49ers, they're doing well, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. They deserve it. They deserve to. They're not getting their wins in a questionable way or lucky. They're working hard and
Oh, that's
fighting
fair.
hard and
That's fair.
playing well.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a lot of comparison. Jordan Love to Brock Purdy, and a lot of people were saying Brock Purdy was not anywhere near as good as Jordan Love, but Jordan Love is in a little bit of a different system. Brock Purdy doesn't have to be as good as Jordan Love. Do you think? I don't know.
No, I completely agree. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
the same system and it being like a,
Yeah.
you know, Shanahan tree kind of thing, but like they're all different. I mean, if you go back and listen
Mhm.
to the Play Callers series from last summer, like there's like a base that's the same, but they've all taken it very different directions, all those guys. So similar system, but like there's a tweet I saw, it was like Brock Purdy's throwing to the Avengers, basically, like the caliber of like receivers he's throwing to. Our guys are good, but like they're young and they're learning.
Yeah.
Versus, the guys they have for the 49ers are crazy, a bunch of talented receivers. So it's a completely different situation. It's hard to compare. It's hard to compare the two. All we know is Jordan Love is awesome, and he's our dude. That's what we know.
We love him. I love him. Everything about him, the way he speaks, his attitude, it's just so refreshing. Everything we wanted and more. I mean, isn't it true though? Because it's like, oh, I hope my expectations aren't going to be dashed, because I was trying to keep everything in tempered, and he's fulfilling all of our expectations. Mine anyway. It's so great. It's so great. Okay, Maddie. So that was one of my superlatives from last week or two. Who knows? Who knows? So what do you have for us this week?
Yeah. So, I have 3. Do you want me to just do one right now?
Sure.
Okay. Here's my first one. This is best post-game tweet. This is going out to our friend Robin Adams. He did a take on "Twas the Night Before Christmas," and it was so good. I'm just gonna read it if that's all right. It's so good. Okay.
Yes.
Do my best here. "'Twas the day before Christmas, and all over the app, Packers fans bemoaned that Joe Barry was crap. Jordan Love is the man all the smart people know, and it sure was lucky that Aaron Jones was a go. Dontavian Wicks lit the first half on fire, but a chest injury made the situation dire. Romeo Doubs caught another touchdown, but Joe Barry's defense made us all frown. But Bo Melton looked good, so at least there is that. But we cannot wait for Jaden Reed to be back. And Watson and Musgrave will add a boost, but will mean anything if Barry isn't given the boot? Matt LaFleur decided a change was not needed. Will it end up his job he's conceded? Merry Christmas to all, and the win we will take. Go Pack, go always. But oh, for Christ's sake, so good, so good.
Funny.
And of course, Aaron doesn't approve, as always, of anything Robin does. So there's that. But yeah, great work for Robin. Love that.
Yes, we love that. Yeah, that was a good one. Thank you. It was funny. I had to read it twice, so the third time was even better. It's really good. I think I retweeted it too.
You may have.
Yes. Okay, so let's see. What do I have here? I don't remember. Would you like to do a second one? Because while I struggle to find my notes.
This is actually a really fast one. So this was best stat. Now this, with all the victories and touchdown passes and yards that Jordan Love continues to accumulate this season, there are more and more amazing stats coming out. Like every week you'll see another crazy stat that's like, oh my god, this is amazing. So there are a lot this week that I could have grabbed for best stat, but this was my favorite one. Tyler Burke wrote this one. He's a fantastic follow if you guys don't know him. He wrote a book, and this is a stat from Tyler Burke. Jordan Love was the 6th fastest QB in NFL history to reach 30 career passing touchdowns, doing so in just 591 passing attempts. Are you kidding me? Tyler Brooke, good catch on that one, man. Very nice. That's an amazing stat. My goodness.
The Packers did it again. Do we have 3 new? I mean, it's going to take a couple years. Some.
Yeah, we won't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but boy, it's looking good.
It's our guy down there, bottom left corner of the screen.
That's our guy. Oops. That's I can't with this mirroring. Okay. I found my notes. Yes, I did have some stuff about Ejiro Evero. Is that how I'm? I
think it's Ejiro Evero. That's how I've heard it pronounced. But
okay.
You make me want to know for sure here, because I care about that kind of a thing. So
I know you do. He's yeah. I was kind of consuming a bunch of his context, thinking he was going to be hired in my feverish haze, but it was worth it. It was worth it. There was a nice YouTube Pack-A-Day. I believe it was Pack-A-Day. Yes, Pack-A-Day with Andy and Carmen Vitale.
Vitale. She's awesome.
Yeah. And it was entitled "Jordan Love is Carrying the Packers," and that is kind of in line with what we were talking about a little bit earlier. So that one was very worth listening to. But yeah, she's been joining him the last couple weeks recently to discuss. This one was to discuss the awful play of the Packers defense. the encouraging progress of Jordan Love and everything that's happening around the NFC North. So yeah, that was a really, really good listen. So again, a little stale, sorry, but still not really,
No.
because yeah, it's still what it is, what's going on.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's we have to get this balance right for once. Like there were always the excuses, like we had to pay our previous quarterback. He wanted this and he wanted that, and they wanted to do this and that to to support the type of play that he had, the player that he was. And not that we wouldn't do that for any team would do that for any quarterback, any QB1. It's just different now because we have more flexibility, I believe. And with all the youth and all and the excitement and all that, it's great. But it just feels beyond exciting. And even with the weird losses and the humiliating, weird, awful losses, it's still been just so fun to watch this season and so encouraging. And I do think I think Matt LaFleur has to get this balanced right this coming year. If he doesn't, then I don't think as good of a coach as we had hoped.
I mean, there are things as a coach he's very good at,
right?
And there are things he's apparently not so good at. So,
and he's probably a really good offensive play caller, right? But to not be he has to make the right personnel decisions, as people in the chat were discussing earlier. Yep. So, absolutely. And if they have to help him to do that, then I'm sure he would. I think he'd want to get it right. Like, I don't think he doesn't want to get it right.
Right.
So I just think that it would be a real shame if we kind of do status quo next year. I would be beyond discouraged if we don't get some changes in there. And I'm not just talking about one, that would really show the young team that is the future, that the coaching staff is also future focused. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm blabbing about that, but it came from something I was just commenting on it, but that's okay. It came with my Jordan Love is carrying the Packers theme, because
there you go.
Yeah, because I don't want him to have to.
Yeah, we don't want that. We want something more balanced for sure.
Yeah, we want balance.
Yeah. So, side note though, Carmen Vitale has been awesome on the shows with Andy, and also, don't know if you caught it, she was on Mina Kimes' show this week too, previewing this weekend. They had some time to talk about Packers a little bit, so also a good listen. Carmen is awesome.
Very good. That's awesome. I love her name, the Italian name. Makes me want to eat a cannoli.
Oh man, I love cannoli.
Have some spaghetti. Right, oh my gosh. Yes.
Well, should I do my next one here?
Yeah, what's your next one?
All right. My last one, in fact. Okay, so we already got into this already. I won't need to say too much more about it. This is there's a lot of Jair related stuff. This is for me, the best Jair related article. It's one that Bill Huber wrote. I reposted and commented on it. It was called "Packers' Belated Suspension of Jair Alexander Paints Troubling Picture." And a lot of the stuff I talked about already would be rehashing if I go right here. When Bill wrote it, when I read it, I was like, this is like exactly what I was thinking. So loved that. But there was one paragraph I want to read here real fast, a short little paragraph that I think kind of like captures a lot of where I'm coming from on this. So kind of in the middle of the article. So the paragraph is, how do you come back from that? If Alexander thinks so little of LaFleur that he's going to use him as a doormat to wipe his shoes on the way to midfield for a ceremonial flipping of a coin, how can you rely on him to be that star player, leader, and franchise cornerstone ever again? Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 He's going to be so disrespectful to the coach. How are you supposed to be able to count on him at all going forward. How are you supposed to
Yep.
build that relationship back up? How are you supposed to like make him see, well, hopefully the suspension and the talk they had with him made some progress on that. Maybe got through to him a little bit, hopefully, but maybe it didn't. I don't know.
Mm,
I'll have to see. So
mm.
not to be like a huge downer again with that. He's already spent like 10 minutes
No.
in the show being a downer about
Did
it.
you think it was
But
delayed though?
yeah,
It should have been immediate. Like they should have taken him out of the
yes.
game. Okay.
Yes. And that was a
Yeah.
point that Bill made in the
Yeah.
article too. Is like it would have been much better if in the moment they've been like, get off the field, get on the bench. You don't do that kind of
Right.
stuff. Because
Right.
that's the thing. It's a big thing that you learn in like reading how to be a good parent, or like a good
Hmm.
a good pet owner, is that if you discipline like way after the fact, the
Yeah.
message doesn't get through.
Yeah.
Um, it has to be in the moment, and it has to be at a level that is appropriate to what the thing was the person or animal did. Because if like suspending him for a game after he had a chance to say to the media, like, I don't know what the big deal was, but just right after the game is kind of what he said in his like
Wow.
the video,
Right.
from the locker room right after the game. um
Hmm.
yeah, and as opposed to like if you're like in the moment this was happening, you sit around and say you're going to sit in this bench because of what you just did here, and here's just why that's just something you shouldn't do. It's going to have better impact. It's going to show better
Sure.
leadership.
Definitely. Um, I'm trying to remember. I think I had that. I can't remember if I had the game on or if I was listening. I don't I don't remember hearing about it on the broadcast. Were people talking about it on the national broadcast?
The first quarter and a half I was listening to from Wayne and Larry, so
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I don't
Aaron makes a
remember
good
them.
I was say Aaron makes a good point here. She said I think it's because it was a Goot suspension, not a LaFleur suspension, and I've been wondering that. She said it was a mutual in quotes decision, but I think Goot was the one making that push. I think so too, because when they asked LaFleur about it in this press conference right after the game, he kind of laughed about Jair going out there and didn't show the kind of like
Ah.
indignation that he should
Oh,
have. So I mean, Aaron, I definitely read it that way too. This is like Gudikun saying, excuse me, you can't have that happen, and this is what we need to do about it. That's how I took it.
did the floor maybe not realize he could do that?
That he could suspend somebody. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
I
mean,
don't
he could
know.
pull him out of the game. Like, oh, I just
Yeah.
am wondering how it all came by. By the way, this is for Aaron. That's him. Okay. Um, yeah, now I have more questions because okay, because I agree for sure, obviously for many reasons, but it should have been done immediately. But would Gutekunst have to go out and do that? Like go on down to the field and be like, "You're out," or
I don't think that would be a thing.
I
I couldn't
don't.
see
It's
Gudikun's coming down out of the press box or like radioing Matt and be like, "Hey, put him on the
take him
bench."
out.
Like
Yeah.
that'd be super. I don't know. That'd be weird. Yeah, it's a good question, Don. I don't know.
I
That'd be weird.
mean, it would because what I'm wondering is, were other were broadcasters talking about it, or was it done delayed because they felt like they had to at that time do something? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just, yeah. I just wasn't because I mean that just made me ask: is there a procedure or like a protocol for that kind of thing? So
Good question.
I mean, coach can take a guy. I would think coach could have done it. He was probably just ready to. It probably the whole thing took everybody off guard.
Well, I
I
think
mean,
that's a big part of it. Yeah.
yeah, that's that. I mean, and that's part of discipline too. You're just sometimes so shocked you don't know what to do with, and you don't do
Hmm.
anything. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, but that's a good point. Okay, I will stop playing with my pictures of Jordan Love now.
Solid, solid.
I had so I had something on the subject as well, but I didn't get it as far. So this was from Ty and Bob Pod,
Mm.
and let me see what the the J jeez, I cut off the title. The GR the G the Jair Alexander Fiasco. For some reason, in writing, that came out in my head. It's all weird. Explained. It's bad. But I didn't get through the whole podcast, to be honest, because I got sidetracked. But they started talking about something else. So listen to that podcast. I'm going to listen to the rest of it. They started talking about Barnes and Noble having a book sale this time of the year every year. And there's like, read more books. And so I loved that. It was like the first 10 minutes of their conversation was about reading more books. And I support that message. And since we talked enough about Jair, I'll just go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so that's Ty Dunn, who's awesome, and Bob McGinn, and who's fine. I'm going to be just saying Bob McGinn, who's not good. Whatever, he's fine. I'd be interested to hear their take on that. Actually, I should go back and check that out, Don. We both should, apparently, but
yeah. Sorry about that. I was listening. I was reading the chat too because there's Exotic Prairie said there might be even a hot mic moment.
Mic of it.
Yeah, yep. or there has to be recordings.
Yeah, I mean, usually broadcast, so I'm sure you could go back. You know, if you had a TV copy of it, you could probably see it. But I mean, it's I think it's pretty. It'd be interesting to see the sidelines reaction when it's happening. I think is the thing,
right?
Because like the actual coin flip, that event itself at midfield, like that was well documented. Everyone agrees with what happened there. Like there's no dispute. It's more like, well, what was going on in Matt LaFleur's head when he saw Jair out there? I wonder.
Right.
Like, oh well, crazy Jair. I was like, oh, we have a problem. Like,
right. It probably, because it's unprecedented. I mean, I can just say how I would have felt about it. Probably been like, what is going on? You know, but I have a game. You know, we have a game in front of us. You can't it's
like,
go
I don't
time.
have time to worry about that. I don't have the bandwidth for this right now. This can be dealt with later. That's true. That is true.
And I think Jair might have been counting on that too.
Well, that's the thing. When you're that person in the situation, you know what you can get away with, and you push it to see if you can get away with more. Like, absolutely.
Right.
That's what he's doing. That's exactly what it was.
I still can't. You know, he's all full of mischief. You're like, you can't. I love that mischief.
Usually I love it. This is the first time I've been like,
I know you're really mad.
I am, because I've dealt with this personality as a teacher. It makes a difference,
right?
You know,
right. I can't say that I have, but I don't like it. I don't like the disrespect at all.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to.
Right. Okay, Maddie. Was that your last one? My last one? Are we done?
I'm done. Yeah, that was on my.
Oh, we're done with our okay.
We did our superlatives. There we go.
Time for, I know. Look at us go, and you did your Lego. You did your Lego tiger. We're good.
I will take a picture and post that. Yes, I'm proud of it.
Please do. Yeah. I meant to consume some Vikings content creators, but not like big Vikings, but just like little guys that talk like us, and or maybe a little bigger than, and I didn't get around to it, but you know, that does take, it's hard for me to do that.
Sure.
It's like a sacrifice, but I really was going to do it because I wanted to get the temperature of what they're thinking and how they're feeling about the game coming up, because they have their own problems. We all have problems.
Yeah.
We all have problems at this time of the year in the NFL. There's a lot of problems, injuries.
They're going to be playing a fifth round rookie quarterback who's going to be the NFC player of the year.
I know. It's crazy. Well, how are you feeling about the game coming up, Maddie? On Sunday?
I don't know. My main thing is that I wish it weren't on New Year's Eve night, when I'd rather be doing stuff with my family. I don't know if I'm going to watch this game, Dawn. I might have it. I mean,
record it. Yeah.
At the very least, I'll be like watching, kind of like half watching on my phone while we're doing stuff like playing with our kids. You know,
got it.
I think it's we're talking about this at dinner tonight. My older kid was like, they might as well have it on Christmas morning. It's like, exactly. This is not a time to be watching a football game.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, I haven't even thought about that. I think that they're going to have you know what I thought about? Okay, I got distracted because we remember the
Lego fireworks.
The fireworks. No. the other thing that was bothering my cat and me, I was like, what is that noise? It's this drum thing at the Cleveland Browns. Is it? Yeah, are they playing in Cleveland? It's like
I
a
don't
weird
know.
sounding scratchy drum. Did you pick up on it? It was awful. By the way, how's that game going?
Oh, I'm gonna turn it out while you're talking. Keep talking. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it was like a scratchy, and the only reason I know it was a drum is because I was running around my apartment trying to figure out what that noise was. And Tosh had her ears back, and okay,
Yep,
Heroin says
in
yes, it's in
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Can't confirm.
So it's just like, why that scratchy sound in my ears? I don't like it, and so I don't want to. I of course I'll listen to Wayne and Larry, so I won't hear as much of the horn and all that,
Sure,
but
sure.
I don't think there's a sound that Tosh dislikes more than that scratchy sound tonight. So, and I don't think that commercials should have doorbells. Like they
Oh,
need to stop that.
yes.
Why
And
are they
and
still doing that?
and radio commercials should never have police sirens in them. That annoys the heck out of me.
Yeah.
It's rude.
Like, yeah, what's going on? You're looking around. No,
Exactly.
my cat does not like doorbells. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. She never had a problem with the doorbell. Nothing happened, but anyway, so that's that. That's my final thought. I'm looking forward to the game just because it's a game, and
Yeah. Second to last one we're
and,
guaranteed for the year.
and Aaron says the Browns are still winning.
Yep, they are. They've it's like 34-17, like twice their score. So
Well, didn't they have like 30 points going into halftime too? They had a lot of points.
had a lot of points. I don't remember what it was exactly anymore, but it was a
So it
lot.
looks like the Jets got somewhere, but that's
I think the
just,
Browns are running away with this one for sure. The Browns are good right now, so whatever.
are they?
Yeah, they are. It's crazy.
I'm happy for Flacco, and I hope they fire. I just don't like what the Browns did with the whole
No.
Baker Mayfield. I'll never forgive them for that.
Oh, Baker Mayfield said nothing of Deshaun Watson. I mean,
Well, to get to Sean, I mean that was
even
part
to
of
that
the
point,
thing.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a mess.
just
I don't.
tossed
I don't.
him.
Yeah.
No reason at all to toss Baker. I stand with Baker still.
There you go.
All right, Maddie. Well, let's bring her home. Unless you have any final thoughts for apart from not watching the last game of this. No, it's not the last game. The second last game of the season.
I will just say, because you're asking what I thought about the game, I didn't really answer your question. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a close game. It's an away game, but the Packers are only 1-point underdogs, which says like it's who knows who's gonna win. It should be a close game. It should be. I think we'll have one side of the ball look amazing and one side of the ball look bad, and the special teams are probably going to be probably pretty bad overall, probably. So I don't know. Can Jordan Love in the offense, the amazing young surging offense, be good enough to win the day against a 5th round first year quarterback? I don't know. I don't know that I'm optimistic or pessimistic. I just don't even know. I don't even know, Don.
It's hard to know with all the different the dynamics. And Justin Jefferson's back this week, right?
Yes. Yeah. He definitely is. He was. I think he played last week too. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
They're not some other important players. Both teams are really good.
I think we're going to humiliate them in their home.
Gotcha.
And
that'd be great.
I'm going to watch.
I'll at least half watch. At least. So.
Understandable. New Year's Eve is my parents' wedding anniversary.
Oh, nice.
So that was always a thing. Of course, my dad's been gone now for a while, but
yeah,
we still recognize their anniversary.
I like that.
I know. They got married in 1950. Yeah, 1955 on New Year's Eve.
It's a long time ago. It's hard to imagine how long ago that really is. All right, Don. Well, shall I?
Let's bring her home,
okay,
Maddie.
Goodness. Excuse me, my throat just got a little gross at the end there. But friends, of course, you'll find links in our show description for everyone we mentioned. So please check it out. Also, we'd love to have a chance to interview you and shout you out if you're a subscriber and a football fan. If you'd like to nominate someone to be a guest on our podcast, please let us know. Our DMs are open on all the social platforms. And folks, when you subscribe to our podcast, you help us to keep spreading the love in our community. And the best way to help this podcast grow is by sharing it with your friends and family.
Yes, Maddie, that's right. Because we love you. We're so glad to know you, to be fans of you, and have the luxury of being fans of the most storied team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate your support, your subscriptions, and sharing our pod. And we look forward to seeing you next week on
Hey, we like your pod.
Football in general comes down to discipline and people owning their roles. And when you aren't disciplined or you go outside the scheme, bad stuff happens.